If you look at 3,000 years of history of biomass combustion, all that it tells you is create a fire, keep adding biomass. That's exactly the wrong thing to do if you want clean combustion. You must, if you can, feed the fuel from the bottom, actually burn it from the top.
There was this old woman, I think she's 75. Her kitchen in the home was about 7 feet by 7 feet. It's dark. It's got a 4 inch by 6 inch kind of window. She's been cooking on the chula for so long, for 40, 50 years now. At this point in her life, she can't see what she was doing because there's so much smoke in the kitchen. There's a problem with her eyes. And after our stove reached her kitchen, and she says for the first time in 15 years, she can actually see the food she is cooking.
There are 600 million households in the world who don't have access to good energy, proper energy. And 130 million of them households actually exist in India. So there's a huge potential.
The emerging consumer are the consumer that today have no access to clean, affordable and safe energy. And they have an aspiration to be consuming clean and safe and affordable energy. And so this is the space in which we want to play. This is the emerging consumer market space in which there are many of these consumers, and that's what we are doing. We are trying to provide access to cleaner, safer and affordable energy.
BP Energy in India has partnered with an NGO. We have been very, very lucky to be associated with this NGO, which goes by the name SSP.
As an organization, we became much more aware of the opportunity to partner with a large company to create a product which would be extremely useful to women and reduce the drudgery that women face.
Making sure that you will be able to address all the issue of a rural household is not easy. The challenge comes in terms of safety, the challenge comes in terms of packaging, convenience in terms of operation. Finally, can it be made into a product which is affordable?
Normally in all our interaction with industries, they want a solution for a particular problem, and they want it immediately, and they want to see the result the next day. BP's way of approach was totally different. They were not looking for profits the next day, and they were also ready to invest to make sure that the product is actually developed to the satisfaction of the customer.
A lot of work on stoves done world over is based on subsidies, grants. Okay, they may have some limited value for some communities for some period of time. The only thing that I recognize as sustainable development of a device which is made available to community can happen on a commercial basis. And that can happen on a commercial basis, and bringing down the cost means scale. That scale means you need large scale investments. That large scale investment, not only investments, a certain vision. All of them can come only because you have a multinational which thinks in a socially committed way.
Agriculture waste is basically densified to make small pellets. Pellets are useful because once they're densified, they give out better thermal efficiency, transportation is easier, and they can be used at any particular point of time, irrespective of the vagaries of climate.
At the start, every day she fills the chamber with the fuel up to a certain level. She puts a little bit of kerosene on top using the dropper that you see over there. She spreads it evenly over it. She puts the match on top of it, ignites the kerosene and then the pellets, and then she switches on the fan.
Lighting the old chula took a long time. It would take me an hour and a half to 2 hours if I had to dry the wood as well. But this cooker is so easy to light and I can cook quickly. I had to put not just wood, but other things like dried cow dung. And I had to blow a lot to get the fire to start. And I had to do all this before 7 in the morning, before going to the fields. I had to place an order for gas and wait for 7 or 8 days. I lighted first thing in the morning, and by 9 o'clock I had finished all my cooking for the day. On the old chulla, it would have been 12 o'clock. I like this because it doesn't smoke, and my pots don't get blackened. And because smoke is so bad for the babies, so I'm trying to cook more on the stove. The biggest thing is that I save time, and that makes me happy.
Rotis, which are a staple food of the North Indian population, they actually make rotis on the fire. So anything that you add to it would obviously get into the food chain. So we are very, very careful that no such toxic material is added at all in the pellets that we are making. From here, the lorry loads take the pellets to the distributor in one of the major towns. From there on, it goes to the jyotis, and from the jyoti down to the customer.
These women are expected to go to the jyoti, or the jyoti is expected to come to the customer and explain to her as to how this device can be used better.
So one hand it was looking at women, what were their needs and how we could help them to lead a better quality of life, women and their communities. On the other hand, it was focused on how could we create livelihoods, provide sustainable incomes to women in the same communities.
I have a small shop in front of my house. I keep a stove there and can do demonstrations if anyone is interested, but that's not enough by itself. So I go and do a lot of door-to-door promotions with the stove. I work for a number of self-help groups. Whenever I go to a meeting, I take brochures with me and raise awareness like that. When I talk about all the benefits, especially the cost savings, compared to using gas or kerosene, people agree. With the money they save, they can put their money into their children's education. The ultimate aspiration for every woman is to cook on gas, but most people can't afford it. A lot of households use gas, but you have to put in a request for gas. And then you can wait 18 to 20 days for a cylinder. Now you can just walk into a store, pick up a bag and cook. I saw the demonstration van and saw the responses it got. So I picked up 12 stoves and the pellets and sold out within 3 days. I use the extra money that comes in to pay for my children's education. Well, a big part of my job is staying in contact with the jyotis. I like the new relationships in the network that I'm setting up. I'm going to take it to 300 villages, which means managing 300 women in the next 6 months. And that's something I'm looking forward to.
Providing progressive energy solutions, starting with cooking energy, progressive in terms of health, safety, as well as convenience and usage. That's the biggest strategic drive, I would call it. And to combine with it, do it commercially, sustainably by BP. I see that as a strategic imperative.
We started with a plain sheet of paper with only 2 words on it: sustainable and profitable.
I would encourage other people to use it because it is smokeless and saves money. It is a very good idea.
It's a very fundamental need. You need to cook food to eat, and it's when you're in that area, it's big.
And then there has been, in May of the same year, 2006, the start of the project in South Africa. Our vision is to reach 20 million households by 2020. And we have plans for achieving that, and we believe is a very big business opportunity for ECM, but for BP more at large.